Like most people, you probably think that if you ever found yourself in a dangerous or life-threatening situation, you would rise to the occasion and save your life, as well as the lives of those around you. In reality though, people don't rise to the occasion. They sink to their level of training. You can't use the knowledge that you don't have. Luckily, you can gain that knowledge today. Ideahaven has compiled 10 life-saving tips that everyone should know to give people the opportunity to share life-saving information that you can follow if you happen to find yourself in any of these dangerous situations. You should probably take some notes. Number 10. When performing CPR. If you're performing CPR on someone who stopped breathing or heart has stopped, don't stop until EMTs take the body away. Don't stop after 2 minutes thinking, well, that didn't work. CPR typically won't cause the victim's heart to suddenly start and or for them to jerk awake. It's mostly to force blood circulation to prevent brain death. You're not forcing life into them, you're preserving a corpse to keep a revivable state. Number 9. When in cold weather. Dressing in layers holds the heat in better. Stay dry. Protect your feet, hands, and face. If you plan on going long distances, have a plan to move on top of the snow and let people know where you are going. Never go on ice unless it is at least 4 inches thick. 6 inches if you have a snowmobile, 8 inches for a small car, and 12 inches for medium trucks. Clear ice is stronger than snow ice. Always watch for signs of frostbite and hypothermia. Number 8. When supervising swimmers. A person who is drowning doesn't look like people drowning on TV. When someone is drowning, they rarely cry out, can't wave their arms around, and will often just bob, sink at the surface for a very little while, often gasping before submerging. Don't expect it to look like the movies when you're keeping an eye on swimmers. Number 7. When approached by a service dog. If a service dog comes to you for attention, immediately locate their owner. They could be using a latch-ditch effort to get help. A few months ago, when I was on a delivery for work, I was stopped by a dog who ran out in the middle of the road, residential. I got out and tried to move the dog, but it followed me all the way to the door of my delivery. Once I was done, I checked the dog's tag to bring it home, and I noticed he had all kinds of medical tags. After I realized what the dog was trying to do, I ran toward the correct address, and the dog led me through a screen door on the porch. His owner was passed out on the floor, and I called 911. The guy had a phone brought by the dog by his head and a bag of medicines by his side. The dog had done everything it was trained to do, but the person had passed out before it could do anything. The ambulance came, got his pulse back, and took him to the hospital. I don't know if he ended up surviving, but if I hadn't checked the dog's tags and realized it was a medical animal, I wouldn't have hurried, blatantly invited myself into the house, and ultimately gotten him to the point of survival. Number 6. When dealing with a stab wound. Do not pull objects, knife, glass, splinter, etc. from a deep wound. They might be sealing or slowing flow from an artery, or they might cut an artery when you pull them out. Put pressure around such an object to slow the bleeding until emergency responders take over. Number 5. When someone is choking. If someone is choking but they are coughing or talking, do not intervene. Let them cough it out. The ability to cough is a sign that air is able to get in and out and that they only have a partial obstruction in their airway. If you try to intervene with the Heimlich or back blows, you could force it out, or you could dislodge the blockage and cause a full obstruction. Obviously, if they're not breathing or coughing, then you should definitely administer back blows. Just remember to check in between each one in case you partially dislodge the object. This next tip may come in handy if you ever go camping or exploring the safari. Before we proceed, please don't forget to like and subscribe to Ideahaven YouTube channel. You can share it with a friend, and maybe this can save more lives too. Number 4. When you're lost. If you are lost in the desert, or a lot of places for that matter, the number one thing you can carry to increase your chances of being found is a small reflective mirror. Anytime a plane flies overhead, you can reflect light towards them, and you greatly increase your chances of being found. This seriously is more important than carrying more water with you. Not that water doesn't help, it's just not realistic to carry that much water on your back. Furthermore, if you get stranded in the desert with a vehicle, do not leave your vehicle to find people. You are a lot harder to see than your vehicle, and your car can provide shelter. Your car has some good reflective mirrors to signal with, especially the rear view mirror. Finally, the universal sign for needing to be rescued is waving two arms up and down. If you can't use both your arms, there is another universal way to signal for help that is more versatile. The way I can best describe it is 3 of anything quick signal. 3 gunshots, 3 whistle blows, 3 flashes of flashlights, 3 flashes from a reflective mirror, etc. Just make sure that they are spaced widely enough, at least 1 second, and that you spend considerable time before making your next 3 signals. Number 3, if you witness an accident. If you see someone wearing a motorcycle helmet having an accident, do not pull their helmet off for any reason. By all means, loosen the chin strap, but leave the helmet on and let the paramedics or doctors deal with it. You don't know what the helmet is holding together. Same thing with children in car seats. If you're in an accident, do not take children out of their car seats, no matter how much they're crying. Number 2, when you suspect you're being followed. If you think you're being followed, turn right 4 times. Since you'll get to the same place, they shouldn't be following you anymore. If they do, you might be in trouble. Since it's a common warning that you shouldn't go home when you think someone is following you, the smartest is to go to the police station. Number 1, if you witness someone having a seizure. If I'm having a seizure, don't move me, wake me, or try to stick a spoon in my mouth. Instead, start timing it, move things out of my way, and ring an ambulance. When someone comes around from a seizure, they are usually confused and dazed. They may have memory loss and not be sure where they are or who they are. It's okay to say, you had a seizure, but everything is okay. I'm such and such, your friend, husband, random stranger, and you tell them the exact location where he or she is at. Hey, if you learned something new today, then give this video a like and share it with a friend. And here are some other videos I think you'll enjoy. Just click to the left or right. And remember, light your tomorrow with today.